here's a movie about cars, people driving it to the death. You got Joan Allen, who is not normally associated to films like this. Now, was it fun for you to know that Paul wrote it with you in mind? So, what kind of an awesome man would think of you as a?
I actually didn't know that he wrote it with me in mind, but thank you, Paul. I didn't really realize
all along,
that.
he said that he wanted you for this part, and he had you in mind. And when he wrote the cuss words that you said in the film,
fantastic.
He was cracking up, I'm sure. So.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm going to tell him. I really didn't realize he'd had me in mind the whole time, and I'm very honored because it's such a departure for me and was so refreshing. I'm thrilled to be part of it.
Now, you know, there's a kind of a body language that a matron of a prison would probably. Now, how do you prepare for that? I mean, those heels are pretty high. You got these outfits that are, like, you know, tight.
That all helps. That all you're wearing those heels. You got these suits that are just like, and then all of a sudden you're kind of standing there like. You get your hairdo going and your nails done and all that stuff, and all those things kind of, you know, add to the feeling.
But how do you prepare then? Because I'm sure that you, or do you prepare? Do you just kind of walk on set and you're like, okay, I'm good to go?
Well, you know, Paul had talked to me about a woman who had been a female warden of a very tough penitentiary, and a real life woman, and became the head of the penal system in California, and that he sort of modeled the character on. I did some research on her a little bit to read about her, and talked with Paul about what we want the character to look like. And, you know, I mean, he also drew her pretty clearly in the writing, and so, you know, that helped a lot.
And you got some really choice dialogue throughout this film. Was it fun to play this like major biatch? Like,
I did. You know, well, she's very. She's not kidding around, but she does it in a very sort of, she has so much authority that she can kind of throw things off until, she doesn't lose it until she really loses it, and that's way into the story.
Not like all character actors, I'm sure you came up with a really good reason why this person became the person that did you have any good reason why she became this almost evil, like, you know, puppet master of sorts, which she misunderstood as a child?
Misunderstood as a child, something like that. You know, no, I just saw her as, you know, as kind of a very ambitious woman, you know, and more like a CEO than you know, the head of a company, because between the death race and taking care of these prisoners, you know, and making sure that this television show succeeds, I mean, I think she's you know, she was an imagination, you know, she used her imagination to come up with this death race. And so it's her baby, she's gonna protect it, she's gonna make sure it survives. And so I sort of see her like coming up through the ranks in the business world almost, reaching the point where she achieves like this pinnacle almost of her professional career.
Now on set with all these cars and stuff, at any point did you try to get behind the wheel, like when nobody was watching?
I got in the cars, you know, they were very protective of them. They had to be, you know, and there was an intense, you know, mechanics working on them all the time, and they had to be babied, and they had to, because they were so heavy, they had to be functional because all the action sequences are practical. There's no CGI, and so, you know, I got to sit in them and admire all of them, and tried to get a spin around once in a while, but scheduling just didn't allow it to happen.
It's a lot of fun to see you in this film.
Oh, thank you. It's fun to be in it.
Nice talking to you.